Coming up, a man trying to find loving homes for foster kids because he used to be one himself.
Basically, I ran away and then I cried myself to sleep.
Hear how he turned his pain into a purpose. That's next.
Hey, you're watching the 700 Club. Man, we've got some exciting stuff coming up, including the Slim Mamas. They're going to tell you about things. But there are nearly 400,000 of them in America. And many of them are forced to move from home to home as they face challenge after challenge. Who are these 400,000? They're the children in our foster care system. Atlantic businessman Rick Jackson was once a foster child himself, and he faced those same problems until an anonymous Christmas gift changed his life. Charlene Aaron shows us now he's giving back to other kids in need.
1,500 providers.
Rick Jackson knows the business world and the success that can come with it.
God has really blessed me with material success from that standpoint. So, yes, I have been fortunate.
As an entrepreneur, he started a healthcare staffing company, which now serves more than 5 million patients across 1,300 facilities. A big difference from his life growing up.
It was very chaotic, dysfunctional. My mother was an alcoholic. My dad left me when I was 9 months old, and we had 7 stepfathers.
The Fox Theater here in Atlanta is filled with childhood memories for Rick Jackson, a time from when he was abandoned and rejected. But he has since turned the pain of his past into a purpose.
I was between 9 and 11 years old. My mother would drop me off here on Saturday around 12 o'clock to see a double feature by myself and then come back most times and pick me up at 10 o'clock that night.
At 13, Jackson ran away from home and spent 6 years in foster care. Once placed in a Christian home, he experienced the love he always wanted.
I saw a family hold hands and pray. It gave me a picture of how a functional Christian family works.
Yet after about a year, he ran away again.
I couldn't take the fact that somebody would love me like they did.
He ended up at United Methodist Children's Home, where he recalls spending one holiday alone.
During Christmas, most of them went home to some family member or something like that. Well, I didn't. And I think there were a few other kids on campus that didn't go home. So, I was there. First Christmas. Christmas was always a big deal to me, and, being by myself and so forth. It was a very, very sad time. And then I cried myself to sleep.
The next morning, he received a surprise gift that would change his life.
I had this white envelope that said, from an anonymous donor, and I opened it up, and there was a $100 bill in there, and I was like, wow.
After that, Jackson says life took a different turn. He eventually reunited with his Christian foster family, attended college, and at 21 began his first business. He credits that turnaround to a faith that was born during the most difficult times of his life.
I relied heavily on God. It was out of the pain I was experiencing as a child, and there was nowhere else to look to.
That Christmas envelope put Jackson on a spiritual journey to spread goodness. One example is Faith Bridge Foster Care, which brings together local churches and the Department of Child Services.
We believe that the church should own this problem, that in James 1:27, it talks about the widows and orphans.
Jackson often shares his story of hope with those in foster care.
I know that they wonder how come they're in this situation, how come their mother or father doesn't love them or doesn't show, or dysfunctional, or why can't they get their act together? Why can't they quit drinking? And what that does to a child is just says, I'm unloved and unwanted. And I think the main message is that God does love you, and that your earthly parents may let you down, but your heavenly Father won't.
He says helping others is his life's purpose.
Through the pain of going through a dysfunctional family, foster care and so forth, it helped me identify just recently my purpose. The reason I was put here on earth was to transform the way kids that are in foster care and to transform the foster care system and to focus on solving that problem. I think that was why it was built here.
A purpose he sees playing out every day. Charlene Aaron, CBN News, Atlanta, Georgia.
One person, what one person can do to make a difference. And that's one person. What a wonderful story that we're seeing.
Yeah, taking their pain and making it matter. You know, out of the 400,000 children in foster care in our country, about 150,000 of them are adoptable. Of course, some have special needs, and
Why aren't the rest of them adoptable?
Well, their parental rights have not been removed.
Okay.
There might be family that they have that can't take them, but they aren't willing to let them be adopted either. But, you know, maybe that's the most selfless role you can play, is in the life of a child that isn't going to be permanently yours, but you can have a lifelong investment
How many
in
of those
them.
people do you think, those young kids, are permanently damaged emotionally so they can't ever recover from it? What do you think?
Well, I don't have a lot of belief in can't ever recover.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it's, you know, a matter of how much are we willing to invest ourselves emotionally, physically, financially, you know, just being there for a child. I mean, look at this young guy, or he's not young anymore, but you know, he talked about his trauma, and he's become not just a very successful person in life, but someone who's turned around and is reaching back to make a difference because of where he came from. So don't give up.
All right.
Well, coming up, one person's